itself though is like the jump to feminist whenever a game gets censored, but that's a totally different thing.
I only blame them if it was clear that they were a bunch of people have complained about said content, and that's why when they changed said content. Now, wasn't Dead or Alive an example of it?
I
I
think
don't.
Uh,
I
so.
mean, I don't have
I'm
any
not
beef with
100% sure.
DOA to be honest, but I don't follow it like that. So yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, they didn't. They cut back some of the features because the people out west are a little sensitive to that. Like they said something along those lines.
all right, hold on.
Um,
But they'll
so
do that without any kind of pushback too,
yeah.
because of how it'll translate to an American audience.
Hmm.
all right, streams live. What's up, guys? This is Insert Token number podcast number 5. This is your host Token. If everybody want to introduce themselves, that's on Mike.
This is Mixed Methods. Hello.
Nanos here.
Hey, this is London. As usual, primarily PC gamer, but you know, I do everything.
All right, cool. So, and Z Fresh is joining us shortly. I think he probably died somewhere, but we're just gonna go into it. First topic is actually Z Fresh topic, but as I said, he's somewhere around here. Was
Too much lumpia. He's passed out.
yeah, like
ate
he
too much
just messaged me. It's
Filipino
like,
food.
he asked me to put this in here, and then it's like, I'm gonna take a nap.
He has Pinoy at the end of his name, so that means he's Filipino. So
Oh Lord.
He's a dumb man. So, anyways,
Too much lumpia.
we're just gonna roll because I don't think we can wait that much for that. First topic of tonight is about censorship. From what I understand, I haven't actually looked much into it myself because the games in question, I'm not really that much interested in them myself personally. But from what I understand, it is the petting game that was in Fire Emblem Fates Japanese version has been removed from the Western audiences. I'm not entirely sure why.
That is true. I haven't followed that one super closely because that was something where, if you go on YouTube, you can really easily find, the Japanese version and get the translations and everything. That was something I kind of expected would be toned down or removed pre-release to begin with. And to be honest, the petting mini games and the petting feature and all that, like they have 4 different female like bodies, like different bust sizes, and they just sort of cut and paste them together for each character. So it's not like you really get to see that much of your character to begin with. Like I remember I watched the whole thing with a friend and it was like, oh, they changed the boobs this time. Like it wasn't that magical. That was removed though, so obviously people are blaming feminists. I've been following FE Fates to an extent, and I hadn't heard, if there was some kind of super major backlash against it, I'm either completely oblivious or there just isn't one. That looks more like a Nintendo decision to me.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's probably Nintendo, and I'm pretty sure they know that their market, especially the cultural differences. Because I lived in Okinawa, Japan, for about 4 years, and basically they're more open to sex and fan service shit than Americans are. But when it comes to violence and blood, that's more taboo than like sex and everything. But in America, it's like the complete opposite. You show a titty, it's rated R. You show a titty in Japan, it's like they're still going to be on TV and shit. But if you something like super violent and graphic, that's more considered taboo over there. They don't like, that's why they don't understand America's infatuation with guns and violence. But on the other end,
that's
they're
totally
more open. Yeah, but on the other end, they're more they're more open towards like I said, fan service stuff like panties, like money shots, and all that other shit.
I mean, this was total fan service, but it was
Yeah.
kind of out of step for the game too. Is the other thing is like a lot of Fire Emblem fans when they heard this were like, "Why do we have essentially the Senran Kagura dressing room in Fire Emblem? Like, it doesn't even fit with like the strategy game itself." So I understand the dislike for censorship. At the same time, this is one of those I wouldn't make this my hill to die on moments, just because it was so out of place with the game to begin with. I mean, that was something where, I obviously have friends who are like hardcore Fire Emblem fans, and they were like, "What is this doing in my game?" They looked at it as the thing that was embarrassing and didn't want it to begin with. And obviously that shouldn't determine censorship, but it's hard for me to say whether this is censorship or just deleting unnecessary. And frankly, it's not removing a core feature of the game. It's removing something that was really not of a piece with the game to begin with. And like I said, you can always go watch the whole thing on YouTube. I have seen the whole video. It doesn't ever really stop being funny for all the wrong reasons. But that being said, like, it also shows, I think coming from somebody who's an Atlas fan, you get away with a lot, really, because Atlas is that sort of niche company. Although even they're imperfect, but censorship in games as a whole, obviously, I'm obviously not for it. I don't know many people who are, who aren't crazy. I don't think we all have friends who are like, yeah, censorship, that's a good idea. I think creators should have bottom. I think it should be up to the creators, but
sadly, I think it's a very vocal minority. That
not for the Fire Emblem case, but for others.
In general.
In general, yeah.
Even in some of the past Final Fantasy games, like even the summons, they would like put more clothes on them in the American version than compared to what released on the Japanese version. I think like Shiva, like one of the Shiva summons, one of the past Final Fantasy games, she basically had no bra on or something, and in America they actually covered her up.
Because of what it would do to the rating, honestly. Yeah. And that's something where we have like an institutional problem. It's not even like cultural differences there. That's just, if you ever, like, speaking of somebody who's played the Persona games where there's a Persona that literally looks like a penis, there's a half-naked Persona, Satan has 8 boobs, etc. If you ever read the warnings, the rating details for the Persona games, they're fantastic. Because they talk about the nudity on the Personas. So that's just a problem with the U.S., I feel like, handling mythology and gods badly in particular. Mm-hmm. But that's up on the institutional level. There was a great documentary on how movie ratings come about and how just completely bullshit fucked up that is, and obviously that's carried over to games. But I also think even when it is a quote unquote vocal minority saying, oh, something should be changed, like, again, I hate to even bring this up, but our Mika's butt slap, for example, whether or not any of us found it offensive, obviously some people felt it was too far, some people felt it made them uncomfortable showing the game, or like with the Laura all costume, oh, I can't show this game to, younger people in my family now. And Street Fighters overall pretty family friendly. Even if it's a quote unquote vocal minority, or is that to say companies can't actually though misjudge and fuck up? Like, there is something, if a company does, quote unquote self-censor like that, does that mean were they inherently right if something changes? Because that is always the presumption with censorship, is if something has changed, they were right the first time, and they had to cave.
That's a case-by-case basis. There really is a case-by-case basis, and sometimes we don't have all the facts to really say either way. So
I guess that's just why I'm floating it as a point, because like you could argue that the petting feature in Fire Emblem was a mistake to begin with, and removing it is, just fixing an error. I'm not actually making that argument. I'm just saying if you want to play devil's advocate, you could go there. But when we see censorship, I think, or when we call it censorship, there are times when games are obviously being censored. When they're coming out of Japan, and that a lot of times is just the industry before it even gets down to the people or how fans react. Like that also, usually a lot of those changes happen way before there's any chance for fans to feel any kind of way about the content of the game or what's being changed. Sometimes we find out what's been changed once we get our hands on it and we compare it to the Japanese copy.
Yep.
I'm having flashbacks to like Sailor Moon 4Kids dub right now. But whenever we call it censorship, like it's sort of like we're saying, oh yeah, well the company, the original was always right, but there are betas and testing for a reason.
It was like when Dragon Ball Z first came out to the States and they censored all the child beating with Gohan.
Oh goodness gracious, did that? Don't get me started.
To chime off Mix's earlier point about Nintendo's decision to censor or remove the game, it also has been. I can also back that up with the Bravery Default. Not Bravery Default, but Bravery Second, where there was a Tomahawk class that was based off of Native Americans, quote unquote. And with the game coming to the West, they changed the entire class to what did they change it to? Something to do with cowboys, and gave the characters 7 accents.
What?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's happened.
That's they changed that. I'm like, what was the difference?
One is a fetishization of a minority peoples that white people did everything they could to wipe out, and one is just LOL white people.
But the funny thing about it is that they're not helping the situation by trying to, I guess, they don't exist. Like we can't use them. It's like, okay.
I don't. That's one change I don't understand, personally.
Mm-hmm.
Because you just changed it and made it kind of just as offensive. But now
it's not as offensive. I gotta disagree with that.
What?
So is that like the equivalent of turning a Japanese samurai in, like an American game that has to deal with samurai, then when they release it in Japan, they turn it into like a Japanese businessman or something?
I mean, yes, but I'd say it's even worse because, I mean, the United States didn't really spend that much time. Well, I mean, they have, not to the extent to what they did to the Native Americans and completely eliminating them from the country.
I personally just don't see the point of removing the class, period.
I do.
Yeah, I don't either.
Max, your mic is bodied.
No one would have been like, "Oh, that's offensive to Native Americans." It's like, no, this class was based off of Native Americans. If anything, it's paying homage to them more.
Exactly.
Than
Even if I don't know, I can't really say it, but if they like release like some kind of like fucking I don't know, if I was Native American, I wouldn't care. But then again, I can't say that because I'm not really Native American.
She had something to say. Here we go.
Well, I'm just saying, like, okay, if a character is a Japanese samurai and you take his occupation from him, at least he's still Japanese. That's a completely different thing from what we did here.
Yeah, they changed from one ethnicity to another ethnicity.
Yeah, I mean,
True.
yeah, this is, I mean, Native Americans being portrayed in the most stereotypical fashion, and in that class, you are not. That's not a good look. That's not something that's going to go over easy in America, honestly. Like that.
Well, I don't know, because I get what you're saying. That yes, that is that it does portray that stereotype, but at the same time, I think if they actually had asked Native Americans, hey, like, are you guys cool with this? Like, is this a good way to pay homage, or is this offensive? And if they deem it offensive, then yes, it should be changed. Sure.
Well, right, but
But-
I mean, I think 5 minutes on the internet could have told them they screwed up. To be fair,
But the funny part about
but-
it is,
but the thing is-
the funny part about it is, it's white people telling Native Americans what they should be offended by, and that's the part that's always bothered me. It's
I don't
even
see
bothered me
anybody
with the
take-
Redskins name as well.
I think this is not white people telling Native Americans what they should be offended by. I think this is also a case of. I think a lot of us can pretty much
To avoid an
see
issue,
the
avoid
problem.
a potential issue.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of us can see how this is just a problem without thinking too hard about it.
Yeah.
Frankly, this doesn't take a lot of analysis. Whether it's right or wrong, I think the easiest solution would have been for Bravely Second's creators to spend 5 minutes on the internet. But stereotypes that in Japan or caricatures or whatever you want to call it, it might not. It's not going to
It's the
be the
norm over
issue
there.
there. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's
that's
a norm.
fine. And I think we
Pretty
all
much-
in America get that.
Yeah, because pretty much the whole population there are all Japanese, and everything that they know about America is pretty much what the media tells them or what they're portrayed as. I mean, take a look at Barrett from Final Fantasy VII.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
it's very different. I mean, I taught English in abroad in a foreign country that was 99% homogenous, and I had people come up to me and tell me that they hated various ethnicities, religions, people of various religions, all that, people of various nationalities because the country was homogenous, and that's fine. But if you were trying to release the game, yeah, I think that one was, yeah, I think if honestly a loving homage is much more the cowboy class than it ever was Tomahawk. To be fair, like if you want to actually do something that sort of is in line with Bravely Default's tone, that fits more than Tomahawk, in my opinion. But it is complicated. It's tricky. Again, I think that's a really screwy or a really. It's one of those times where, yeah, in Japan or in a different context, yes, that's an homage. It's not fetishization. It's not rewriting history. It's fine. In the U.S., you can't actually keep the class as is. You have a couple of options for my money. I don't know how good any of them are. One would be making the class almost. I don't think making the class into like a Native American history lesson would make anyone happy. Or preserve the spirit or tone of the game. So that leaves us with
They should
essentially.
have just went on the internet for 5 minutes.
Say what?
They should have just went on the internet for 5 minutes.
Oh God.
Or they could have just left it the same and said, "Fuck it, this game came from Japan. This is the way
they
it is."
can't.
And
It's
fuck
But
it.
not that kind of
even if
game.
it comes from
Man.
America, you got Killer Instinct with people with what's this? What's that
Yeah,
Indian
what's
name?
his face? Yeah.
Thunder.
Thunder.
Mhm.
Yeah. You couldn't be more stereotypical Indian.
But the thing is with Thunder is that he was already a character in America. Not saying that, not trying to like
Right.
defeat the process, but he was already a character that we had back in the original game. The way Bravery Second came out, it could be seen
Right,
as
bad guys.
offensive if you think a little bit about it.
I don't think we have to think that hard to see it as offensive, unfortunately. I mean, that one is a case of whether or not they meant harm or not. It is problematic. I think we can agree.
I
And
wouldn't,
Yeah.
but I would probably agree with London. They would have just left it as it was. But then again, maybe they could have just played it safe and just not had the class there to begin with.
I mean, I think it's hard. I think it would be hard to execute in a way that isn't going to cause unnecessary controversy.
In a way, they shouldn't
Whether or
have.
not-
It's not really a class when it's actually basically based off a whole race, you know?
Especially when the name is Tomahawk.
Yeah, that's a problem. That's where I say we don't have to like look too hard at this to say,
So
oh, this is
basically, you're
offensive.
like saying like I'm Filipino, but if I want to change my class to Native American, I need a bow and arrow, I need a tomahawk, I need this and that.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, that's my
I
sister, by
don't.
the way.
Oh, okay. I mean, I think the part where it was called Tomahawk was not a good idea. I mean, it's. I'm just thinking, we're in the middle of, we're starting Black History Month, we've got Black Lives Matter, and, do we want to set that? I mean, it's just an ugly, unnecessary look, in my opinion. I don't think there's a good solution there. I do think changing the class was probably the best option out of all available. I think Japan wasn't intending for the Tomahawk class to be a comment on Native Americans in the U.S. I think it was just something about the U.S. And then when the game did come, now the game's coming out, they have to do something that isn't an obvious stereotype.
Yeah.
And it's not going to play out the same way in the U.S. And that's
No, it's because it's two different cultures.
that's an acceptable localization to me. Is if we can preserve essentially the spirit of the class, but not resort to obvious stereotypes, that's fine.
So if you want a gangsta class in there, you gotta with the guns.
That would be a huge problem for me.
Exactly.
But yeah.
But yeah,
Sorry if I think there's a way to preserve the spirit of what was wanted without doing
you did that.
something as offensive as that.
Okay.
And I understand frustration, but again, this is one of those cases where, is this really the hill you want to die on?
Yeah.
This is not, to me, a good example of, censorship. In terms of there being an actual debate to be had. This one was somebody screwed up, didn't do the research. This doesn't play out well.
Yeah.
We should probably make the change. And yeah, I don't think gangster class is appropriate. I'm actually Arab. I'm not. I'm Arab, but I am not Muslim.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know you was
Distinction that eludes many people when they talk about deporting all the Arabs or how Arabs are the cause of terrorism. I am part of the Catholic diaspora, so I'm actually Arab Christian.
I would never picked you as Arab. I thought you was just you're a normal white person.
Thank you. Well, to be fair, on the
White
census, Arabs are white, even though we aren't. No, and when I was younger, I was actually much darker skinned and actually repeatedly asked if I was biracial, assumed to be black, part black, etc. And now I'm assumed to be Hispanic. I wouldn't enjoy an Arab class that did nothing but ride on camels, talk about Allah, and put their daughters in slavery. And I can understand how to a country with no experience with the Arab population, to them that is just a loving homage. They're thinking, 1001 Nights. They're thinking whatever the most, they're thinking, I don't know. They're thinking of the genie from Aladdin. They're thinking of Aladdin himself. Whatever. Okay, I am not going to say, oh, these people, they know nothing about Arabs. This is so offensive. It's blah blah blah. If it's coming from a country where they probably don't, or it's coming where it's meant to be tongue in cheek, or it's meant to not be super serious. But if it's going to be out in America where we have talk of not letting anyone from the Middle East, immigrate,
Yeah.
that's not that's a really obvious example of it not playing well. In Europe, for example, or in Russia, hell, let's go to Russia. Russia's a really good example. They have pretty bad history with their Muslim, Caucasian, the population in the actual Caucasus, and the Middle East. Do you want to have that kind of stereotypical class there? I promise you, it won't play the same. It won't. Something that is cute in one country isn't in another. Obvious stereotypes can actually be pretty harmful. And yeah, I think the Tomahawk thing, yeah, that needed to be reworked. And there's a way to preserve the spirit of the class without
Yep.
going into the mess that it was. And I also think that just given the game and the quote unquote
The other
prestige of
classes
the
in the game.
Bravely series, it was never going to happen. They were never going to not edit that.
Yeah. Because there's a couple other questionable classes in second as well, but to see if they're gonna come back, that might be questionable. But some other Nintendo's changes. What was it? I think it was Project Zero, aka Fatal Frame for the Wii. They removed some costumes in that, and obviously everybody's aware of the DOA Extreme 3 scandal where the game is just not coming west at all. So yeah, there's that. And also, Nintendo censoring, I think, one of the girls' costumes in Xenoblade Chronicles X. Oh, removing it, I think. I think it got removed. And obviously, with Bravely Default, some costumes got removed as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's par for the course for them.
Well, censorship's going to happen no matter what. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
some things are more acceptable in other countries than others, and then there's a whole rating thing. And Nintendo as a brand in America is basically seen as this wholesome, family-friendly system. So that's
Yeah.
what
Right. Right.
that they're
That's
trying
the
to
big
maintain.
thing. But I
Which is
honestly
why I
think
think
that-
with Bravely Second, this was kind of, we all saw this coming.
Yeah.
I mean, at the same time, I think it would help them a lot if they started to kind of pull themselves away from that, because a lot of their fans are actually older than they are the younger crowd. So, I don't know.
I
Not
knew
saying
you
they
was
should
watching this
drop it.
nonsense.
Huh? What's that?
Someone said something.
I'm guessing Mixed Methods has a mechanical keyboard.
Oh, no, that's just me typing super fast. Oh my god, I put on. Sorry, that wasn't covered by voice gate. That was me.
It's all good.
I put it on. I took off push to talk, and
Yeah.
you guys got to hear me type 160 words per minute. I am so sorry.
Well, that's fine.
That's fine.
Token, you said something else though.
Mix knows what I'm talking about.
Okay. All right.
I didn't hear what you said.
I said it in chat.
Ah, I see.
But yeah, where was it? So, next topic. I wanted to get Joe from Tower Gamers in here. Because, this is the next topic's about his favorite game.
Oh, the Division.
Which one?
Oh, Division.
My man loves the Division, yo.
Yeah, he hasn't come back on since, so it is what it is with that. So we're just gonna continue. GG's. But yeah.
I
so
can let him know.
if you can yell at him, right fast.
I
see
just
what he
did. I
says.
just sent him a message. We'll move on to the next topic in the
Well,
meantime.
yeah, we'll move and we'll put that at the end.
So
So
it game trailers?
game trailers shutting down yesterday, random.
That sucks.
That's actually the first time I've heard of this. I didn't know that.
No,
shut down.
it was random.
They did.
It was literally random. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you, well, let's inform the viewers. Randomly last night, after 13 years, game trailer employees were just given a letter, and they were told that we're shutting shit down. Close shop, game's over, you're done. And
That's
no one knew without notice.
and how many people work there? Did they say?
I didn't look into it that far. All I know is I saw a specific comment. Let me see if I can find it right fast. But
It is important to note that since Game Trailers was acquired by Bigger Fish in 2014, there have already been layoffs.
yeah, I wasn't aware of that.
It,
But I didn't know
it,
that.
it,
I didn't know that they were kind of on a decline recently.
it sucks for two reasons for me. One, it always sucks when people lose their jobs. That no matter what. But number two, we lose another opinion. And the more opinions you have out there, the better. Because the more people that are talking about games, the better informed we are as consumers. We can get more information about games before we actually purchase them. And that's just one less person or one less company out there that's able to give us that information. And that sucks. Whether you like them or not, I mean, best to have as much input as you can out there.
Yeah, that's true. The comment that I found that they actually posted, they posted in NeoGaf out of all places. But it was like, "Hi everyone, Ben here. I just wanted to confirm that Game Trailers is shutting down officially today. Everyone is being let go. We all found out mere hours ago, so we're still reeling a bit. Sincerely, thank you for all the tremendous support."
Yeah, that's really just sudden. I mean, I didn't even know about it till I read these notes here. I'm like,
And it was very abrupt.
Yeah, like
yeah.
Definitely
I found out.
surprised Twitter.
Yeah, it was pretty abrupt.
I found out
And that
because
sucks too, 'cause
I follow RPG site and Niche Gamer. I have their like tweets come to my phone, and I just saw it. And I was like, "What? What happened?"
it's like all of a sudden you're jobless, like out of nowhere. That
Yeah.
sucks. That sucks.
That actually happened to me before, where I was actually working at a Quiznos one day. Oh, not one day, for like a year and some change. I left and then I came back.
I was about to say, if you're working at Quiznos for one day, well, you fucked
No.
up.
But it was a while ago, and one day I just go to work, and shit like it was just locked. Doors locked. Nothing going on, whatever. And so I go back the next day because I was scheduled to work the next day. I figured, oh, something might have happened. They must have closed down early. I didn't get any calls or nothing like that. So I went back the next day and closed again. And I get a call. It's like, oh yeah, we closed. I was like,
so basically, these are like the owners being too chicken shit to tell their employees that their business is doing bad and they're going to be let go. So they just wait to tell you last minute because they're already happy.
not even last minute. It was just
No,
like,
that's happened. But I
Happens a
know
lot.
other people who've been in that situation.
And as a business owner, you cannot do that. I cannot
I know.
feasibly see a way that if my business was failing, I would be letting my employees know, like, hey guys, it's heading in that wrong direction, and we're gonna try to keep it afloat as much as we can, but it's best for you guys to try to look for another employment.
Exactly.
That way you give them a chance and give them time, because you go to work and all of a sudden the doors are locked and you like it's just done. You're like, what?
And then you
Like,
got to worry about your family, your bills.
yeah,
not
exactly.
making
It's not
payments
just
on
about
time.
that one person. You're talking about multiple people who are affected by this. Any one person that loses their job, there's at least 5 people that are affected by it. Whether that person is single or has a family or whatever, there are multiple people that are always affected by that kind of stuff, and you need to keep people informed about that. I'm not saying that that's what happened at Game Trailers, because I'm not sure, because the employees might have known.
To me, like it
But-
might have come from above.
it might have come
Yeah.
from above, and they're just like,
Yeah.
just shut the shit down. Because sometimes it comes down to what the numbers is bringing into the site and how much money they're making. If they're making the amount that the company wants to see, it's better to cut it now than let it keep milking money.
Well, at least they should still at least have the decency of letting them know beforehand.
So-
If they know that the numbers are in decline, I mean, it's right there on a piece of paper.
Yeah,
Whether-
there's no business that suddenly goes, oh shit, we're fucked. Well, time to close up. Like,
They'll
I like the way you said
they'll
that.
know
Like,
way
oh, shit,
beforehand.
close. Yeah.
oh shit, well,
It's
fuck.
a slow. It's a progression. It's most companies and most companies that I've dealt with, they've known that they're going to go out of business for at least 2 or 3 months, at least. And I work in. I currently I own a printing shop. I co-own a printing shop, and we have seen quite a few print shops die. And we've talked to quite a few of them, as they were dying. They've known for months that the decline was happening, that their customers, they weren't getting as many customers, and the amount of jobs weren't coming in. Like, they saw that decline, and they knew they were doomed. So I just can't see a bigger business not having that same ability and access and understanding of, oh shit, we're going to be fucked in the next 3 or 4 months. So if things don't turn up in the next month or so, we need to let our employees know.
Yeah, like, especially like if you're on decline, you'll want to tell your employees to find another job so they can quit, and you can save more money instead of paying people that for a business that you know is about to go down the tubes.
An army of idiots.
Like you would want to conserve money, not keep paying people and then all of a sudden, oh, shut down. But we're out of money
Oh,
too.
real quick, Joe said he got a flat on his way home. That's why.
Okay.
Did they say anything about having like a severance package or anything for this?
I didn't hear anything about it.
Yeah, then that sucks.
Because remember, it's an editorial job, so I think they might get paid by the article.
Yeah,
So
they usually get paid by the article. Yeah.
So that's basically just like freelance.
Yeah.
Yes.
But obviously, some of them that was like their main job.
Well, I hope they find another one quickly, man. Hope they do. No matter how you feel about them. I remember I saw somebody, of course it was in Bang Bang, they were like, oh great, they're gone because now we don't have to deal with their biased reviews. And it's like, you
Everybody's
idiot,
biased
that's
now.
one less person that can tell you about a game, whether a game is good or not.
Because
Like,
it's
that's the
biased to
whole point
Bang
of this.
Bang if it's negative towards Xbox. You have to remember,
Yes.
like they're trying to argue about the file size of Street Fighter V being retarded, saying, oh, it's only 45 gigs. Oh,
Killer
little
Instinct
KI
was
is
3
16
gigs when it
gigs.
came out.
And just
It
like,
was
Yeah, but when
3 when
KI
it
came
came
out, it was like less than that. Wait,
It was 3.
Street Fighter's
It was
9 gigs,
3.
right?
It was 3, and I posted proof of that was 3.
I
3
know,
gigs when it
dude.
first came out.
And they couldn't say shit
What,
after that. They
Killer
didn't even
Instinct?
want to see it.
yeah, Killer Instinct
Yeah,
came out
Killer
like,
Instinct was 3 gigs when it first came out.
how many characters come
Like-
out with? Like, did it come out like?
I think they came out with like I can't remember. I can't
I
remember.
think it was like 6 characters. And it's just like, I don't know.
6 characters was that? Hang on, let me.
It was. I think it was like seven.
Also,
Seven
is that
characters. 7 characters.
is that the
plus a
confirmed?
clone?
Okay, is that the
Okay, with Street
confirmed
Fighter,
file
with
size
Street
for
Fighter
this
5,
game?
you're getting 16 characters at the start, right?
16 characters. On top of that, remember, you
Yeah.
still paid to get the full more KI game. You had to pay like, what was it? $40 to get the full game.
I think so. Don't quote me on that though. I'm not 100%
Yeah, and
sure.
then each character pack is like $20.
I'm like, but I'm sitting here and what exactly did you expect from a fighting game? I mean,
Yeah.
it's not a 3D world. It's not.
And
It's
they
not
said
gonna have
the
this
story mode's
breadth
coming
of
later,
content.
and the content's
Yeah, and they
coming
even
later.
said the story mode's coming later. Yeah, so.
Like, I can see if this is the final product and there's nothing else coming. They're just like,
Yeah, then
But
you're
then again,
looking at that
file
going,
size
that's
doesn't
kinda
matter
small.
still. Why would you want to take up more space?
I don't, and because goodness gracious, I just looked at my hard drive and I have about 300 gigs left on 2 terabytes.
Yeah. Like PS4, they could have like 4 or 5 big games.
Yeah, my Xbox One, the first one, I got the original, the one from the original, and it's 500 gigs, and it's like you put 3 games on there and you're fucked.
Yeah, because it always takes up like 100 gigs for the system memory.
Mm-hmm.
Like
That's already
PS4,
gone.
you only have like 408 gigs of
Yeah,
free space from the
it's
start.
about the same thing on the Xbox One. It's about the
Yeah,
same on the Xbox One as well. Yeah.
and the games
I
took
don't
up
know.
like 60 gigs. I'm just like,
Yeah,
what?
NBA 2K15 was 50 gigs.
Hit the biggest game
50.
that I know that was on even next gen console was Halo Master Chief Collection at 74 gig, like 64 to 70 gigs, I think.
But I do get that because that's 4 games in one.
Yeah, but
But
still,
but still, it's
then you had
huge.
Batman Arkham Knight to 60.
Was that 60 on PC as well? I believe it was.
Yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, that's
the only game that doesn't deserve to be 60 is Final Fantasy 13, but 13 was
okay.
like 60 gigs on PC because they didn't code the video files white. So the video files were bigger than the actual game.
Well, if you didn't see my comment I put on there, I was like, yeah, fuck resolution, fuck FPS, fuck gameplay, but my file size is bigger than yours. That means my game is more quality. That's what they're saying now.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That is great.
They got nothing to win over, for KI except my file size is bigger.
Yeah, it's at this point it's beyond childish at this point. The shit that they go through to prove one side or the other. And I remember someone tried to tell me that the biggest reason why this whole console war thing is a thing is because gamers are inherently competitive, which I do agree, but not over plastic. Usually over the game that they're playing.
Remember,
But,
plastic. Plastic is what it needs to be.
Yeah, because I remember the console wars back in the day between Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. That was all about the games. Like Sonic versus Mario and like what's it called? Basically it was mostly about them comparing games to each other rather than games and graphics, basically.
But yeah, so next topic is Red Dead Redemption.
Oh God.
The pussy should be bleeding right about now, but
Yeah.
Microsoft silently released Red Dead Redemption on Xbox One as a 360 backwards compatibility game. And then they took it back, saying that it was a test game. We were testing games and we accidentally released Red Dead Redemption. And I'm just like, what? People are actively playing this game and you're just like, you know what? We accidentally released this. Even though people are having problems with it, we're taking it away. It's just like...
And the thing is, the Xbox gamers had to go through like a workaround to get the game, right? Like they had to do something to do it, to get the game? Or was it just posted up on the store and they just downloaded it right off the bat?
Wait, what game we talking about?
Red Dead Redemption.
Red Dead Redemption for the backwards compatibility for the Xbox One.
They dropped it and then they took it away.
They had it and then they dropped it. I think I'm pretty sure they dropped it because I'm almost certain of Red Dead Redemption is coming out this year for all next gen and PC.
Yeah,
I would bet a lot of money on that. By the end of this year, we'll see Red Dead on Xbox One, PS4, and PC, and then they're going to be announcing a new one as well.
Yeah, because they were releasing the second one on all platforms, so I'm guessing there's probably going to be like a HD remake of the game. Not HD remake, not a remake, but like a remaster.
A remaster, yeah. It would definitely be a remaster. That game doesn't need to be remade. It didn't even look that bad on the console, so.
yeah, just a remaster would be fine, but I'm just like, why would you just take it away in the first place, though? Like, why would you...
The way I see it is that Microsoft kind of probably jumped the gun without giving Rockstar like a head start notice, and then Rockstar was like, oh, no, wait, we're going to probably be re-releasing that game, so...
Yep, we plan on doing something with that game. Don't do that, yeah. That probably is exactly what happened.
And then,
which is fine. I mean, Microsoft didn't necessarily do anything wrong, Hey.
Yeah.
And as an excuse, they're like, "Oh, we didn't mean to put that game because we want the performance to be just as good. We want to be working right."
Then why did they release Mass Effect at 30, 25 frames per second?
Right? They just use that excuse as a scapegoat.
Why did they release Halo Reach
Exactly.
that can drop down to like 15 frames per second?
Right?
Exactly.
Because that was the
I think
worst.
Microsoft realized how hard that 360 emulator
And
was to do.
Gears Judgment got body too. Gears Judgment drops down to like 18 frames per second at certain
Oh,
parts.
jeez. Yeah, because I think you have to have. I think they said if you wanted to emulate something properly, it has to be like 4 times as powerful as the
The system that you're
previous
emulating.
generation
Yep.
or system. Yeah.
And we're not 4 times as powerful. So, yeah, that's rip. So next topic is free to play versus buy to play, and I meant to add this in as well, versus monthly subscription. So Black Desert is releasing in the West. It's an MMO that was released in North Korea first, Korea area, and then released in Russia as well, free to play. And it's coming to the West. It's in beta phase right now, and it's going to be buy to play at community request. But some people actually have issues with the game being buy to play. What's
You
your
know who
thoughts on
has
this?
issues with it? The kiddies who can't afford it. I mean, if you can't afford
Exactly.
$20, then that's on you.
Yeah, it's just like
Exactly.
it's just like
This
$5, but still, it's just like I'd rather the game be buy to play than free to play, because free to play games are usually trash.
I mean, with some exceptions, of course, but
Yeah, with some exceptions.
but for the most part,
subsets?
the tricky the trickiest thing to do with free to play is to get the right payment model, and that's something that League has. League has found a way to get a good payment model that keeps the cash flow coming in, but at the same time allows them to keep producing content. Because if you got a free to play game and you're not making new content for it, then nobody's playing it, and then hence
Like,
you lose. You have to make basically the free to play guys are hoping for the whale, for the big catch, for
Exactly.
the guy that's willing to spend $1,000 on the game. But the problem is you can't have that guy spend $1,000 and then beating everybody else, because it hurts both people. It hurts the guy who paid the $1,000 because he has no one to play with, and it also hurts the people who couldn't afford to pay what that guy paid. So that does get very tricky, and that's why I'm more of a fan of this the paywall there. You just pay for the game, you play the game, and then they come out with new content and things of that nature. I am all for it. I'm all for it.
Exactly. I mean, there's already an example of like a free to play game
Archage.
that was open world. Yeah, sandbox, Arcade.
We don't talk about Arcade. We don't talk about Arcade.
No, we're gonna talk about this
Especially
shit.
around Black Desert. We don't talk.
Oh, we're gonna talk about
No,
Archage.
Arcade
So,
was supposed to be
taboo.
the next best thing when it came out.
It was
But when
supposed to be what Black Desert is now.
because I actually
Exactly,
tried
but-
to play
Yeah.
Arcade like when it first dropped, but back then my 750 Ti couldn't even run the game on low. Like I could, but it's just like I looked at it, I was like, I don't want to play the game looking like this. I'd rather just wait until I get a better video card so I can run it.
And didn't they have like some kind of pay to win option in the market?
Yeah, that's what I
Yes,
heard. They got
that
bodied really
game
hard.
was really pay to win. It was like extremely pay to win. But that's another thing that I'm happy about with Black Desert. The system requirements for a game that looks like that's pretty damn well optimized. Because I forget, someone in Bang Bang said, "Man, I really wish I could run this on my PC." And I looked at the specs and I was like, "Dude, if you can't run this on your PC, then you don't really have a gaming PC." I mean, that's just almost any gaming PC should be able to run this and run it fine.
Like, I could run Black Desert on my 760.
Yeah, I think the minimum requirement's like was it a 480?
Oh, you're good. You might
Yeah,
you
but
might
you
you
ain't
might
gonna-
not, you might not look the best, but
Exactly. That's the minimal. But some people who are looking at the minimal are still trying to push for like a higher setting, and then those are the people that are complaining, saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, this game is not optimized because I can't play at the lowest minimal setting." But they're trying to play it on the medium.
You're dumb.
You're dumb.
Exactly.
That's
It's
Yeah,
minimal for a reason.
that's the issue with
No,
the
I'm sorry. The
PC
minimum spec
people.
for this is a GTX 250. The recommended specs is the GTX 650.
Oh,
Yeah.
for Black Desert?
This can be played on anything. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yep. It
So when I
doesn't-
get my
it's
970,
DirectX
I
9.
can just run away with it. I can just.
Yeah, this game came out 2012, so it was using older hardware then. So
I thought it came out in 2014.
No,
no,
it's
it came out.
2012.
No, was it coming? I forgot when it
It
was.
was
made.
December.
Hold on,
I
let
thought it
me
was
check.
December 2014.
No, I think that was the Russia release date. But let me check. It might have been 14 because we're 2 years ahead now. We're 2 years.
Because as soon as I typed in Black Desert release date, that was the first release date I saw. Was December of 2014.
Yeah, that's probably when it came out.
Yeah, it says release date December 2014. Okay, let me see here. Then I must have been looking at like the closed beta or something.
Yeah, it might have, but again, the game's been in development for quite some time, so. But that's pretty good, and obviously these numbers are probably accurate because the game. It's not like the game isn't out yet. It is out. It's just not available here in our language.
Yeah, a good free to buy to play model, from what I'm hearing. I have the game, but I haven't actually bothered to play. Is what I want to say, Guild Wars 2.
The great part about the Black Desert Online too is if you look at the publisher, we actually got the actual publisher publishing the game for the United States. Japan has a different publisher for it, and Russia has a different publisher for it, so they can change
Right.
whatever they want. But we actually have the real publisher backing
The
us.
real publisher, yeah, and
Yeah.
that's you're gonna get the best quality out of that as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine. I mean, first of all, if the game was free, because of how good it looks, I think it will attract too many dickheads. It just will. You put a game that gorgeous out there that can run on just about any system, and then go, yeah, and it's free. People are gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna be a dick in this one. Now that you have to pay for it, they're gonna be like, maybe I'll get it, maybe I won't, but they'll probably respect it a little bit more because they put money down on it.
Yep.
They were forced to.
Because there are those people that just want to get the game that's basically free to play and that just want to troll. So
Right.
they'll keep those people out at least. The paywall will do that, and like I said before, like the paywall will also put up like pretty much like a block for people who want to spam like gold sellers and stuff because they have to go through that paywall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I see. One time I was playing Final Fantasy 14. This was about like a year ago, when the bots were still like ravaging through the game. And I go to a gate and I just see like 5 or 6 of them just grouped up in the corner, black mages, just grouped up in the corner, just sitting there, low 50, because there's actually gold sellers, and then there's people who actually speed level up classes and characters. So they see somebody that's so if Square Enix was to cover the server to find bots, the level 50s won't be picked up as fast because they're like, oh, they put it in time to the game. So they'll get level 50 bots to sit there and spam messages all day.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, no matter what game it is, it's always going to be bots. I mean, I've experienced
yeah.
bots.
Even in Black
Pretty much
Desert,
every
there will
MMO.
be bots. It's not going to be clean and pure. There will be
Yeah.
some idiots. It's guaranteed. I do like the AFK in there as well too. You could just go fishing and have that on as you.
But
go
you'll
about
probably
your
get
business and
instead
whatnot.
you'll get like less resources if you do the AFK not botting, but the AFK mode.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
but
think
you
they
can
said the server's running all the time. Like there's no server timeout.
like there are 2 other games that were actually I think were buy the subscription based games. What was it? Elder Scrolls and Star Wars, which both went completely free. Well, one
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls you have to pay $60 to get the game still to play it, and no one's playing that.
That immediately turned me off from that game. I'm not dropping $60 and then paying you every month. It's one or the other.
On top of the game being unfinished,
Pay to
from what I
win.
heard.
Yeah, unfinished. And yeah, that was my. I didn't even play it, so I can't really speak about how the state of the game.
I
But-
played it when it came out, and literally just like after.
All
a
right, see you
month,
later,
it just- Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just like the game. Like I saw Angry Joe's review. You take it how you want because people like him or hate him. I don't have a problem with him, but I saw a review for the game. And it was just like, yo, I wouldn't want to play this.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
you have to
and
make
it-
like your guild can only have 100 people in it, and they gotta make
Yeah,
sub
that's lame.
guilds. You can't do quests together with people.
Yeah.
This is coming from someone who's played every Elder Scrolls game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
the questing.
So
Basically, that game they didn't know what they wanted to do. The multiplayer version, the multiplayer aspect of the game was crappy. The single player, they didn't know whether they wanted to be multiplayer. They didn't know if they wanted to be single player. It's just the grouping in there was horrid.
Yeah, it was really bad.
And also there were like certain broken quests that would just make the game unplayable. So like you need a certain item to move on to the next zone, and then that NPC doesn't want to give that quest, so
Yeah.
you can't go on to the next
like
zone.
y'all both could fight the same boss if y'all in a party, but you can actually somebody cannot beat the boss and has to fight the boss again. Like y'all both
What?
beat the boss.
Yeah.
But the game
You have
doesn't
to do it
recognize
twice.
that y'all beat
so
it.
it's even worse than I thought.
They fixed
that game
it. They
could've
fixed it
been-
now, but it's like the damage is done.
It was.
But my
yeah,
standpoint is, it could be as good as Black Desert looks, and I'd have been like, I'm not paying $60 and then paying you monthly. I'm
Like
just
Final
not
Fantasy
gonna do
14,
that.
I personally do that. I bought the $60 game at launch. No, it was 50 because I bought the PS. No, was it? It was actually 40, I think, on launch, and the PC version was dirty. Yeah, I think it was either 30 or 40 at launch. And I paid 15 a month, but it updates with free stuff all the time. Like
Now,
as you're paying for
15
it.
a month, I would debate on doing a subscription model, the $15 a month. But the only thing about that is, I'm an ADD gamer.
Mhm.
And when you're an ADD gamer, paying $15 a month doesn't really make much sense. Because you're going to play that game, and then I'm going to stop, and then continue paying that $15 a month. If they allow me to stop at any time.
Oh, they do. They do.
Then I'm probably. Most of them do, yeah. Most of them do.
Some don't, but like
even
Final
still-
Fantasy gives you the option to like just cancel your subscription and then reactivate it whenever you feel like it.
Right. Well, the only other problem that I have with that is that I'm gonna forget, and that's my own personal problem. That's why I stay away from those subscription-based stuff, because I would forget, and then at the end of the year, I'm looking at my money going, "Where the hell did all that $150 go?" Like, there it is, So
Yeah, like personally,
Netflix only, subscription-based.
personally, I don't have a problem with it only because, like I said, like it's not really free content because you're technically giving them $15 a month, but
Oh, I
there's-
take that back. Netflix and now EA Access or Origin Access are paying for as well.
because there's patches, like when the game patches, it patches with a lot of content. Like
Yeah, like when they Final Fantasy added the Gold Saucer content, that was
Yeah.
all free. I'm like, oh wow, that's a lot of stuff.
yeah,
They added Chocobo races. They added what's it called, the Triple Triad,
hmm
all for free.
Oh, that's cool.
like we're getting
It was
a new
basically
patch.
like Gold Saucer. They had like the like Final Fantasy Gold Saucer games, like the
Final Fantasy 7.
matching thing. Yeah, Final Fantasy 7 Gold Saucer games pretty much were all in there.
Yeah, like we're getting a new patch next week, where it's like we're getting new tomes to upgrade gear further, new gear. They're releasing the cap on the current tomes, so you can get as many as you want instead of $4.50 a week. Two
And they
new
also gave you
dungeons.
They give you like the ninja for free too now, right?
Yeah, you got ninja class for free. Yeah,
Ninja class for free.
yeah.
Thief ninja.
Yeah, you get to 2 new dungeons and a continuation to the story. Because if you think about it, like if you play Final Fantasy 14, Heaven's Ward on launch was actually pretty trash. Like it's worth the $40 now, but at launch it wasn't. Like the story content wasn't enough compared to the main game that you paid for, where you got like 50 levels. You only get 10 levels, and the story is only like 10, 15 hours at most for Heaven's Ward. And you always get level locked out too really fast. Like
The thing about Final Fantasy 14 is even if you're paying like the $14 or $15 a month, at least you see content coming and getting added to it.
Oh yeah, I still play the game. Like I'm leveling up all my classes right now. So like if I get bored, I can just choose whatever class I want to play and play that class. Instead of being like, oh, I'm stuck with White Mage. I want to have options. Like I feel like playing Dragoon today. That's another thing about Final Fantasy 14. You can actually level up multiple classes on one character.
Yeah, that Black Desert lets you do that too.
Yeah.
Because certain games don't let you do that. They're just like...
Yeah, they don't.
Buy character slots.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, and you also get like... In 14, like, you get... I want to say 40 character slots across 8 worlds.
Yeah, that's if you pay the 15, but if you pay like there's even a lower subscription
It's a
than that.
$12.99 option where you get
character.
8 characters across 8 worlds.
Yeah.
1 character per world, but
Yep.
I paid 15, even though
All you need is really that one.
you only need that one, but that's what I pay. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
in case I want to make another sock character or something like that, I have the option to do so.
Right.
But yeah,
But then again, you're just paying for a different name. That's it.
yeah. So what do y'all feel is better, pay to play, free to play, or subscription based, and why?
Depends on the game.
Yeah,
I think that's
always
really
gonna be
what it comes down
the initial buy to play is always gonna be better than the normal free to play. But then again, there are certain free to play that work out.
Okay.
Here's an example for me. Warframe to me is a great free to play game, and that's the way it should always be, because it has a good model for payment where you got to grind in order to get stuff, but at the same time they made the grind fun, so you don't feel like if you leave Warframe for a few days, you don't feel like, oh my god, I am completely terrible now and I can't get back into it. And that's what makes it such a good free to play game to me, because you could jump in and jump back out. And if it were paid, I mean, I guess it could have worked as paid as well, but I don't think it would have changed much. Let's see. Trying to think of some other games that were probably better off free to play.
They should have did that for what's it called? Destiny.
Oh, Destiny.
You pay, then you have to pay more.
I'd actually think I would have probably given that game more of a chance if it was free to play.
Oh no!
Because of the way that they're handling everything now, it's like what you're doing right now worked if the game was free when I came in.
Yeah.
If you wanted to give me the game and then you got to pay to get to the story part of it, I'd have been like, you know what? Hey, I like the gameplay. I'm willing to see what the story's all about. Like that would entice me to get it. But I already dropped $60 on it, and now you shoving a $40 expansion that really actually is the full story of it. And I don't want to hear that shit.
You paid $60 plus 35 plus 40.
Not I.
Well,
I did not.
the average consumer that wanted to play the full experience paid 60 plus 35. I think it's 40 actually for both expansions. Unless you bought the
bundle.
it's
40 for one. No, it's 40 for the Taken King for sure.
And then you're paying for some.
No, the two.
That's what.
No, I'm talking about the 2 expansions. The 2 House of Wolves and something else.
Mm-hmm.
Dark Below.
I mean,
Those two expansions were $20 a piece, unless you bought the bundle, which made them $35 and made them $5 cheaper.
Dota is a good example of a good free to play model.
Yeah.
Team Fortress is another one. I'm just looking, and they're the two most popular. The three most popular are the ones that I just mentioned.
Yeah.
Dota 2, Team Fortress 2, and Warframe, and on Steam at least.
Yeah.
And that's why, because they have a good model. League of Legends is another one. They have a good model.
Mhm.
It's the ones that don't have a good model.
Smite has a good model too.
Dead in the water.
I was-
Smite, yes. Smite's another great example.
Like, you
Smite's
can
another
basically
great
pay $30, get all the current characters, plus the feature characters that they release.
Yeah.
You can't beat that. Like, if you're gonna be playing a game like that, you're getting about 30 to 40 characters, plus whatever new
Yeah.
characters they release for $30.
And Dota 2 is what? You get all the characters for
Like,
free,
Killer-
and
Killer
all you're
Inst-
basically paying for is skins.
Killer Instinct, you're paying $40 for 8 characters. No, $20 for 8 characters.
I'm not really a big fan of the Killer Instincts pay system.
Oh, that
but,
system was retarded.
whatever.
Like, when I bought the game on Xbox One last year, I paid $60. I got both Season 1 and Season 2 with the additional costumes and the extra 2 games that nobody cared about. And
I'm
just
trying to look for one. I forget what this. It was I think it's Ghost Phantom something. Tom Clancy Phantom something. I can't remember.
Phantom Squad.
God, that game. Oh
Yeah, I
my
know what you're
God.
talking about.
Phantom Squad. Was it
That
bad?
game. Oh my God, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Well, there's a lot of terrible games on Steam that's free to play. That they just released
Oh.
on Steam, and you're just like, the fuck did you even put
Arcade?
this on here for?
Yes, it is. It is. It's Ghost Recon Phantoms. I had high hopes for that.
I
shit.
played
That
like one
was
game,
awesome.
and I was like, and I got killed immediately, and I was like,
Why? Because they bought all those guns. That's why.
yeah, and I was like, you know what, I'm turning
It's
this
pay to
off.
win. It's pay to win.
I killed, like,
America's
one
Army,
person.
Dog shit. DC Universe Online, I did like. I did like DC Universe.
No, I didn't like it because I played it, I got to level 4, and then I got player killed. And I continued to get player killed, and I was like, you know what?
You can play completely PVE.
Yeah, they're
No,
not
I was
doing
trying to play
PvEs.
PVE. I think I was on the PVE thing or something like that.
How did
I've
you
never been killed on
flag
PvE.
yourself for PvP then?
Oh, okay. I didn't know because
Yeah, I
The-
guess you
the
probably
whole
did
UI
that.
is
'Cause
confusing.
I've never died. Yeah, I leveled all the way up. I max leveled on that, and but the end game content's boring as hell to me.
and you got to pay for expansions.
And you have to pay for the expansions. But I understand that. That's whatever.
Yeah. But the game didn't really take off until like it got to PS4, I think.
It did okay on PC, I believe.
No, I'm talking about like PS3, PS4 for them.
Yeah, which I kind of find funny. I wonder what was wrong with the PS3 version.
I don't know. But PS3, nobody was trying to fuck with that. Yo, I remember the install was like almost 60 gigs on PS3. And I was like,
Yeah, it is a big game.
and
It's
I
a
was
very,
like,
very big
what?
game.
Why would I even put this on here?
Yeah, it's like I only have 120 gigs on here. What are you doing?
Like, rip people who have 40 gig hard drives. That's
Yeah.
another thing Sony got stopped. Like, why make games digital only that are bigger than the hard drives that they have that you have available?
Well, that's why you can now get you can now put your own hard drives in both consoles.
No, I'm just saying though, like for people who like don't want to do that and just buy disc and shit, like Yakuza 5 was like 24 gigs. No, 22 gigs, and you needed about 46 to install the game.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, you need, because PS3 you need double the space in order to install the game, because it downloads the game and then it installs it and then it deletes it. Deletes the install.
You know what? I'm actually gonna I'm gonna make a crusade. I'm gonna try to play every free to play game on Steam. That's my goal.
Good luck with
That
that.
is my goal. I'm gonna try to play every free to play game on Steam. I'm gonna do it. You heard it here, chat. Look, they're free. It doesn't cost me anything. Just my time. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, let's see.
Starting tomorrow. 'Cause I'm not doing that shit tonight.
But okay, let's move on to the last topic of tonight. Last topic is the division, because I guess he got flat tire, so I guess he's bodied.
Actually, I didn't check our chat. Nah, he has not said anything. So yeah.
Yeah, he's ripped. So, hey, what is this? Hold on 1 second. Save this. But yeah, the division. Rumors are going around from developers of the PC version saying the game is being held back to keep in line with the consoles. And I believe I think even 2 days ago, or even earlier than that, Ubisoft came out and said that no, this isn't happening. We're building it from the ground up. Blah 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 blah. What are your thoughts on this?
My thoughts were first of all, I thought, that's not really that bad of a thing. The problem, the quote that I had a problem with was, it wouldn't be fair. Stop right there.
Yeah, I saw that quote. I was like,
all right, it is fair. If my $200 TV doesn't look as good as your $3,000 TV, how the fuck am I gonna sit there and say that's not fair? Pony up, pay more money, and your TV will look better. Like, stop. So that's number one. And number two, I don't think any console dudes are gonna be like, that's not fair. The PC version looks so much better. Well, no shit. They already know this.
Guys,
this is not news to them.
London, did you forget what group that you're in?
Even in Bang Bang, you know what they're gonna say? We don't care. We don't really care about graphics like that. That's what they're gonna say.
They're not going to say that until they find out the Xbox version looks the best, and they're like, ah.
Right, exactly. But the whole point is that they're not going to not get the game or not play the game because the PC version looks better. So where are you getting this from? Who is it not fair to? The console players already know, and really, it's unfair to the PC that you didn't put enough attention to it to get the most out of it. Now, had they said this instead, which would have made more sense, we didn't want to push it too far because we wanted to make sure we wanted to include as many people as possible. We don't want to have people have to go out and get a brand new graphics card to play the Division.
I would have understood that. As long as you give me the options,
I get a downgrade for that
to turn the game up.
Right. But that would now say, okay, now you understand why they pulled back a little bit, because if they started to go too far with that, it'd be hard to scale it back down again. Completely understand that, but that's not what he said. And honestly, it was a developer, right?
Yeah, developer for the PC version.
He's not a PR guy. He didn't know what the fuck he was saying. And when you don't have a PR guy, things like that are gonna slip.
They're just gonna say
whatever
the fuck they want.
And I don't think he meant it that way. But, huh?
They're just going to say whatever they want. They're not going to say it in a way that it's acceptable to the public.
Yep. And the PC version will look great. I mean, that's just... Yeah. Yes, it's been downgraded. And I hate when people are like, well, it's been downgraded. A lot of games get downgraded. The Witcher was downgraded.
I think it's a cop-out, though. Because it's Ubisoft. It's a cop-out. Because of their past games. Not counting Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Because that didn't happen. For once. We have games like Watch Dogs that got downgraded. We have Rainbow Six Siege that got downgraded. Assassin's Creed Unity, they made it so both console versions were at 900p 30 FPS, even though the PS4...
I hate to say it like this, though. They have done themselves a huge disservice by doing this. Because now when you see a Ubisoft game and it looks incredible, you're like, oh my god, this game looks amazing.
You can't
What's
get hyped.
the first thought that goes to your head after you say that?
Downgrade.
Huh?
Downgrade.
the first thought in your head is gonna be, it's not gonna look like that when it comes out. And guess what? If that was the one thing that really got your attention, now you've got this negative thought that goes right through your head immediately after saying, "Hey, man, that looks great," but it's not gonna look that good.
Yeah, I don't know.
And that could lose a potential sale. That person may be like, I'm not gonna get it because it's not gonna look like that.
But yeah, basically it's just like, I don't know, like, I don't really like the whole downgrade thing. I'd rather you show me what the game is gonna look like from the jump, and then instead of telling me saying, "Hey, this is what the game is," hey, I want to show you this. But
and that's why, and you know what? That's why it drove me nuts when people were complaining about Fallout 4 and its graphics. I was like, guys,
I'd rather you show me
us
what the game
is supposed to look like. Like, yeah, I'd rather have that than for you to show me this.
Because I was hyped as shit for Watch Dogs. I was so hyped, and then I looked at it on PS4 and I was like,
"Who was
the
it?
fuck?"
Hey, the mods fuck? Though. At least we got the game eventually.
Yeah,
mods.
Yeah, but it's like you look at the E3 trailer and you're just like, "Yo, this looks fucking amazing."
Yep.
And then they released the actual engine of the game, and you're just like, "Go shoot yourself."
Exactly. And then now when Watch Dogs 2 comes out, we're gonna be like, nah. And
the game wasn't even that great to begin with.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Like, they hyped
it wasn't
up this
what
game
I
to be
wanted or expected.
Something, and it was just like, it was just a generic GTA game.
So much of this gen has been a disappointment.
Yeah, like this gen's
so much of it.
Sad to the point where it's like, not many people even like Tomb Raider like that. I don't like the Tomb Raider, but it's just like, I'm playing
I do,
it,
and here's the thing though, I have not played it in like a while, which I find weird.
I haven't played it in like a couple days because I got halfway through the game, I think.
Yeah, and that's the same thing with me. I got halfway through it, and I'm like,
I got up to the village.
I
think the village is halfway through.
I think a part of my reasoning is because I've like redone my living room, and now I'm using my mouse and my controller less. So now I'm like, oh, Diablo, all these games with mouse and keyboard I haven't been able to play because I can only play on the controller. Yeah. Now I'm getting to play those games, so now Tomb Raider's kind of gotten pushed off. But,
yeah, but
I will eventually.
It's like it introduces new stuff, but it's just like
it is better than the last one.
It's better than the last, but it's more of the same if you think about it.
Yes.
And it was just like,
which I'm almost certain Uncharted 4 is going to be. Yeah. Uncharted 4 is going to be
more of the same.
If you played Uncharted, I loved Uncharted 2. Uncharted 2 is one of my favorite
Uncharted 2
games
is what is the best.
Ever.
3 was a disappointment.
Love it. Yeah, and then but 3 was like, oh, we're doing this again. And for me, like, I didn't play Uncharted 3. I didn't play Uncharted 3 until I played Uncharted 2 came out because I didn't know about Uncharted at all. So I played it, me and my girlfriend, she watched the whole thing, made me play the whole game, and we enjoyed it. We loved it. And I popped in 3, and she was bored about a quarter of the way through.
Yo, I got so bored. I was just like, just trying to finish it at that point. I was just like,
yeah. She was just like, I didn't finish it because the big appeal for me for that game was right. But the big appeal for that game was that she could watch me play it and enjoy it just as much as I am playing it. And there's not a lot of games like that, and this was one of them at the time. Especially at that time, there was hardly any games like that, and that was great, and we loved it. But then it was just like she was almost like, I've seen this movie before, and that's the feel of it. And Uncharted 4 is going to be the same thing, where we've seen this movie before.
Yeah. Like, we've seen this crap before, so it's like, and the story wasn't even that great to begin with. Like, I don't know where the fuck they were going with the game. Like, you should have just left it. You should have just continued off of 2. 3 is just like everything we knew about the game. We're just kind of like, it doesn't matter. This is what happens.
Yeah.
And you're just
now I would be more hyped. I would be more hyped for The Last of Us 2. I really did enjoy The Last of Us a lot.
Yeah. But
As a matter of
it's not
fact, I
going to
think
live
it
up to
might
the
have
hype
been.
as one did. It's kind of that's kind of what happens. Like,
No, this is what I would do if I was Sony. I wouldn't hype it at all. It doesn't need it.
yeah,
You could literally pull. You could pull what Bethesda did with Fallout with The Last of Us 2. It's the most awarded game ever. It doesn't need this extra uber super duper hype to it. You could just be like at E3, Last of Us 2 coming out in November.
and
People
leave.
would go nuts.
Don't even show
Yeah.
trailers.
Huh?
Don't even show trailers.
Don't
walk
even
out.
show the trailers. Just walk out because literally what they can say is the trailer is available on Sony.com.
Yeah.
Dude, Sony will get blown up like Sony.com. I gotta see that trailer. That's
Yeah.
what you want. You want people going nuts, and I would be one of them. And for me, I have not found a reason to get a PS4 that will sell me the system.
Yeah.
That's like I would go out and buy a PS4 for that.
Like I have PS4 now, but it's just like.
As a matter of fact,
brought
I
it
would,
for
trade,
JP
I would trade in
exclusives.
my Xbox One. I would trade in my Xbox One for it.
Like I got Last of Us for my PS4 because at the time that's the game they're giving out for free. I think they're still doing it, but I'm not sure. But basically, it's just like Uncharted. Maybe I might get it. There's a couple of JP games that's coming out, but I'm just like, it's not really want to wait
Dude,
and buy.
they're coming out in April, and by time April, I'll be playing The Division and Black Desert. Good luck.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
those
and they kept
two
pushing that
games
game
alone
back
are
on top of that
time
too. That's another game that kept getting pushed back.
what is that?
That's another game that they kept pushing back.
What game?
Uncharted
Well, they only pushed it back once.
twice.
Twice. What was the other time? Because it was supposed to come out in March.
No, it was supposed to
And then
come.
they
It was
just
supposed
said
to come out last year. It was
When?
supposed
They didn't set a release date, though, did they?
no, it was set for Q 2015, quarter 4 2015.
No. Unless they set a month. Like
No,
that's
they didn't
when
say a
I
month,
actually
but they
count
had a
that
window
as
saying this, and then they pushed it back like in August.
That's fine.
To
That I'm okay
February.
with. And I'm okay with delays. And I'm always okay
They
with
pushed it
delays.
back to February.
Take your time. Take your time and come out with the
March,
game.
and then they pushed it back to April. So,
Yep.
nah, I don't mind them pushing it back too much. It's whatever. It's like I'd rather the game be good, but I don't want another game that's overhyped like freaking Mighty Number 9. And then
Oh,
I
God.
know, you know, the people who put out $250 for the game knows
Well,
that
I
game is
didn't.
gonna be ass. And if that game is ass, I'm laughing my ass off. I'm making a video laughing at you. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Y'all all put money to this game for the game to be ass.
Oh,
Just-
and Quantum Break. That's the other game I was thinking about. Quantum Break would have came out by then.
Oh, it's coming out. It might be coming out
Oh.
on PC. If it's coming out on PC, I'm not buying it for Xbox One at all.
I need to get a confirmation for
Yeah,
it.
because
coming out on
Brazil's
PC before I
not a
know.
confirmation.
So in the same month, you got Dirt Rally for the consoles. So no,
Mhm.
Dark Souls 3 is supposed to come out in April.
PC,
Um,
PC buy day one.
What? Ratchet and Clank
Ratchet
or
and
Dark
Clank,
Souls 3?
Dark Souls 3.
Yeah, Dark Souls
PC.
3 is a day one for me as well.
Like even though I haven't beaten any of the other Dark Souls, I like the Soul series. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just it takes me a while to progress in the game because I'm not good at them. But
And then Battleborn comes out in May.
yeah,
Then Doom right after that.
yeah.
Then Mirror's Edge. So it's like
Oh yeah, Mirror's Edge. I want to say it's gonna be
Uncharted
good,
might be
but it's EA though. So
I don't know. We'll see. EA. It does seem like EA is trying to slowly change their reputation
Yeah.
because the old evil EA would never have released Unravel. They would have never done this EA Access thing and actually, have this subscription-based model where you could, where you can play games, I can't say for free because you're paying for it, but you pay
Try
a small
games out
fee and
before
get
you actually go and buy
AAA
them.
quality games. Yeah, but you're playing these AAA quality games Like I'm about to play, Battlefield 4 for $4. Like
Yeah.
that's pretty damn good. Seeing that the game is $20. So
You can play Titanfall too.
I think they're slowly trying to change that image. Hmm?
So you can play Titanfall too, I think, right?
Titanfall is not in there now.
Oh, okay. They probably stopped caring about that game anyway.
Yeah. Well, I liked it. I still play it for every now and again.
I know it was hype when it first came out, and then everybody was just like,
I didn't like it when it first came out though. Not as much as I do now. There's so much more content now than there was when it first came out.
"Oh yeah, that's what happens with games like that." Like I don't understand
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
developers releasing games with like little ass content, and then like
And the new Sherlock Holmes comes out. Actually, I want to see how much the last Sherlock Holmes cost. I did want the game, but
yeah, it's like so many PS4. It's like so many PS4 games coming out, but it's just like now that I think about it, it's just like the only game I was kind of hyped for is Kingdom Hearts 3, but they pushed that back until next year.
mhm.
And it's just like I don't know. Like I'm buying games for the PS4 that I would normally buy for PC, but I'm just like I need something to play on the system
Right.
because PS4 has games. It's just like since I have multiple platforms, there's no point in buying the game for the PS4. Let alone buying the game for Xbox One either.
Hmm.
But yeah, it is what it is. Just Ubisoft needs to change their ways about how they're doing stuff.
Agreed.
I don't see the point of them wanting to keep the game in line with consoles. Like that shouldn't happen, especially if I'm paying. If I paid $800 to $1,000 for my PC, you paid $400 for your half box. I have to be held down. Like the example you gave, if you buy a $300 TV, $3,000 TV, and I buy a $200 TV, and my TV doesn't look better than yours, I can't say that's not fair. I chose to pay $200 for my TV. You could choose to buy a PC. You don't want to because it requires effort.
You don't want to, that's fine.
It requires effort.
Yeah, and if you don't want to, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine if you don't want to or whatever. But you like
that's
you'd
like
have to be
saying
a
video
complete
cards.
idiot to expect your game to look as good as a PC. Like you're an idiot.
That's like video cards. People say, "Oh, I'm gonna buy a 750 Ti, and the game will run fine." But the game doesn't look as good as a 970. And
Right.
It's just like,
Of
can't
course
get
not.
mad.
Yeah. Right. All right. Well, I do have to head out here.
yeah, I do gotta head out too. I gotta do some more grinding. But okay. So thanks for watching, guys, and see you guys next week. Actually, there's a net play tournament on Sunday, so hopefully see you guys there later.
All right.